IPI by Bison is your one-stop shop for equipping your gymnasium. This video is intended to provide general guidance, but not detailed instructions for ceiling mount structure installations. Mechanical skills, reference to all provided drawings, and common sense are required to accurately and efficiently install basketball backstop structures. We'll review some of the basics for installing basketball goals in new or existing gymnasiums. Your first task is to make sure you have received everything shown on the bill of lading. The design team, customer, general contractor, and equipment installers need to communicate and coordinate to keep the project on budget and on schedule. Change orders are not uncommon, but it will delay the installation if you have to order parts or run changes through the design team. Be careful unloading the equipment and moving it into the staging area. Some of the equipment is large and heavy. Clear obstacles away from the unloading zone and take precautions to make sure both equipment and the people handling it are undamaged in the process. You don't want to have to move things more than necessary, so stage items near where you will assemble them without blocking the layout and installation area. With everything unloaded, conduct an inventory of your parts and equipment to make sure you have everything you've ordered and all that you will need to complete the installation safely. The layout of the installation is crucial. Know and understand all of the elements that are going into the final design of the space, as one thing affects the other. In a basketball court, the positioning of the goal is the orientation point for the rest of the space. Carefully measure and mark the location of the backstop and support structure on the floor. Time spent on the floor can save time spent up on the lift. With the layout of the backstop and its support structure marked on the floor, you can use a laser to mark the roof support structure. You may find an obstacle that wasn't accounted for in the original design, like this junction box. Any adjustments you have to make in setting up the structure can have a ripple effect throughout the court. Be sure to communicate any changes to the design team and client. Attach the support structure using the proper beam clamps, but do not completely tighten the bolts so final adjustments can be made as the structure gets assembled. Raise the mast up to the support structure and attach it where the marks line up. Getting the structural elements positioned correctly is critical to ensure the correct location of the board and rim. 1-inch threaded hanger bolts are used for leveling the Y-frame. With everything in the right spot, tighten all the fittings to secure the structure in place. Assemble the knee brace and raise it to attach to the mast and the support. This knee brace folds forward, but backward fold, side fold, and stationary designs are also available from IPI by Bison. While there are differences among the Bison suspended backstop systems, the process for assembly and adjustment is basically the same. The dimensions for locating the knee brace are a starting point. The actual location of the joint will be done by raising the mast to the proper location and adjusting the joint so that the mast raises as far as possible. Mount the winch up to the support and route the cable through the pulleys to the correct pull point. There are different kinds of winches that work with these systems, and yours may be different than the one shown here. If your unit has a height adjuster, attach it to the mast and then attach the board and rim. Refer to the plans provided with your order to calibrate for the right dimensions and height settings. Make sure that the rim is level and 10 feet from the finished floor. It's not unusual for there to be the need to make adjustments to the rim height after the floor has been installed. With the structural elements located precisely and secured, install the roll pins to permanently lock the structural elements in place by drilling holes and tapping the pins in place. With the backboard and rim in place, operate the winch to raise the unit. If the winch is not yet wired up by an electrician, you may need to use an extension cord. As the unit approaches its maximum height, adjust the winch's upper limit switch so the winch stops. Here you may need to adjust the joint on the brace so the brace lies parallel with the mast. Lower the mast using the winch until the mast is again hanging vertical. Set the lower limit switch at this point. Here it is also important to make sure that the brace is fully extended and locked into place. With all adjustments made, the backboard will be parallel to the end line and 4 feet inside the court. We can now attach the padding to the board and the net to the rim. This video shows the basic steps in installing an IPI by Bison suspended ceiling mounted backstop. Each facility and custom equipment order is unique, so read your plans carefully. Check your equipment to make sure that your order is correct, and measure and mark carefully, taking into consideration all the elements of the finished court. We're here to help, so feel free to contact us with any questions you may have about your project.